Good morning everybody, Mr. Eric here, back with another video. This video will be the start of our game creation, and there will be a number of videos just kind of breaking down what each part of your game might need. For example, it might be movement, it might be collision detection, or it might be scoring. So there might be 3 or 4 different videos being uploaded just to kind of separate each of the concepts. This one will be a little bit different because I obviously did a few things off screen, so let me show you what I did. I actually completed kind of my entire thing, so I'm going to show you and then I'm going to break down the individual parts. So this one will be mainly focused on character movement. So let me just kind of show you what I did and kind of ignore all the codes. There's a lot of code in here now, so I want to break it down a little bit further, but this is my full game. So if I just press the green flag, start it all, we have our storyline to begin with. We have Dot getting a welcome from the so Captain Dot, and we have Lieutenant Devon saying hello. There's been no trouble why Captain Dot has been asleep, and there's just been a bit of back and forth conversation. They're helping each other out, they're checking both the scanners, and look over there, something is happening. Vehicles are driving dangerously, and this is where you kind of get into the game. And a few things, minor things, and you can see I just have a little bit of a driving slash shooting game. So if I move right and left on my keyboard, you can see I move left and then I move right, and if I press the space bar, my little laser will shoot. So and the idea, obviously, you have the health up on the left hand side, and this is going to be very difficult to show you now because it's actually quite hard. And when I get it on, you can see the health has gone down by 10, and I want to kind of show you the entire thing. So let me quickly change this to -100. That way I don't have to get it 10 times, I can just get it once. Otherwise it's quite difficult. There you go, and then it's kind of game over. Great job, and good job, Lieutenant Devon. And that's the end. I haven't done an end scene right now, but once you hit the vehicle 10 times, because it's -10 each time, let me just reset that. That is when the game will finish, once it reaches 0. So first of all, again, like I said, I've got a lot of code. So I've got the rocket code here, I have the car code here, and I have the laser code here. It looks very, very complicated, but I'm going to break it down for you all just with a new project, just kind of. So this one here, I'm going to start a new one just to show you. First of all, movement. I'm going to stick with the cat sprite at the moment, and inside of the event section there is when the button is pressed. So when the key is pressed, and you can choose whatever key it is you want. You can choose the letters, numbers, arrows, and so on and so forth. So if I choose the letter A, if I wanted to move, let me just show left and right. So if I wanted to move right, and I don't have to press the green flag because it's not waiting for that, it's waiting for the right arrow. So if I move the right arrow, you can see it kind of does it itself. You can see it highlighted, it moves 10 spaces every single time I click it. Okay. What you do then is the reason why you have many pieces of code, blocks of code, is because you have to include another one. It's not reliant on the green flag anymore. So if I do the left arrow and do a movement again to the left this time, however, if I just press the left arrow, it still goes exactly the same direction. So this, if you wanted to move in the opposite direction of the right arrow, you have to do a minus. So if I do left now, it goes backwards left, and right arrow, left arrow, right arrow, and you can do this in any way you want. So if you wanted to move in a upwards direction, for example, there's something a little bit different because this is the direction of the sprite itself. So the direction the sprite is facing is onto the right. That's why it's +10. And that's why when it's moving backwards, it's a -10. So this one's backwards, forwards. So we do have to spin the sprite as well. So point in a specific direction. We want it to point upwards and then move 10. That means we do have to change the right and left arrow as well. So if I do up, you can see it moves upwards, but if I do right and left now, it just moves right and left this way, which is not really what I want. That's still up and down. So you do have to add in the change in position for the right, because the right is pointing right, and the point in the direction is pointing, well, you still want it to point right here, but you can change this. If you want it to point left, this no longer becomes negative because it will be pointing in that direction. So you have right, left, but it does go upside down, and upwards. And obviously I can do this for downwards as well. Down arrow. But instead, I personally like it just to move backwards. So I will do that. And that way you have backwards for upwards, downwards, right, left. And that is the movement for the sprite. You can do this in any way using any keys that you want. I can change this to WASD, which is normally what people use for gaming. So upwards would be W, and downwards would be S. So you got, instead of right left, so I'm pressing right left forward backwards on arrows now, not working. You have W, D, A, S. So there are some issues with this one, but that's pretty much with movement here, and hopefully you can add some of that into your game as well. Again, make sure that you've clicked on your game, and whatever game you might use, you will need some form of movement anyway. I will end this video here. The next one will be all about scoring, collision, and then also just kind of ending up as well. So thank you very much, and I will see you in the next one.